Now, I had something happen yesterday. You tell me if I handle it properly. First of all, I'm not having an affair. Okay? I'll just say that up front. I am not having an affair.
Now all of this is sketchy.
Okay.
Who's naked on your desktop?
Okay. Some number of years ago, I lost some weight, and speculation was, he's having an affair.
I remember that. Was that from some of the people in sales?
Some of the folks in sales. My wife's cousin. We were doing lake life. Went over to the lake. I had dropped about 35 or 40 pounds. And my wife's cousin got her alone and said,
he's cheating.
It's so obvious. But who?
Check his phone. See if he's got a Hampton Inn app.
All right. Check his phone. So yesterday, I mentioned recently we've changed carriers, okay? So we moved from one company to another. We got a little bit of an incentive to do that.
I figured.
Did it. So yesterday, apparently, my wife got the very last bill from the previous provider, and she never does this, but she was going through each phone number and the calls that were made. All right? So out of the blue now, I'm sitting back in the office. Chris Demm had just left. Phone rings. I see my beautiful bride's face come up on the phone. And I do what I always do.
We're shaking. I've heard this phone call answered many times.
What's up? What's shaking? Exactly. And she goes, that's what I'd like to know. Whose phone number is blank, blank, blank? And she gives me a phone number. And I said, I don't know. That is unfamiliar to me. I didn't know whose phone number. And she said, well, I need to know whose phone number it is because you've had hour-long, 45-minute-long, 37-minute-long conversations multiple times in the last month. You have at least 10 phone calls here from 37 minutes up to an hour and 10 minutes.
Whoa.
And I said, I don't know. I thought for sure it must be the diesel because
who else would
my
you talk with?
It had to be. He's really the only person I talk on the phone with other than my wife.
You didn't do the Tiger Woods? Get your name off. Look, she's going to call.
She's going to call any second. Please take your name off your phone.
My wife
will be calling. She shows up as a number.
I don't know why. I just said that is completely unfamiliar to me, and I should have told her I don't have long conversations like that, and I really don't. And she said,
I think most Americans don't, unless it's a close family member.
I mean, an hour.
Or a paramour.
I can't remember the last time I had an hour-long conversation with anybody on the phone. Mm-hmm. You know, Diesel and I talk about our pickleball shots. Mm-hmm. You know, after it's over, we'll call each other and say, I think I should have gone wide. I should have hit to his backhand. Not for an hour. And my wife calls it cooing to each other. I'll say, well, you played great. He goes, no, you played great. We coo to each other. But not for an hour, generally. I said, maybe once up to an hour, but I didn't recall it.
Well, surely Sweet Pea wasn't done investigating.
Well, she said, I didn't know whose phone number this is. And I said, well, I'll find out. And I said, hang up, I'll call you back. Well, right there, just hit into my mind. I'll dial the number. I wrote it down. I'll dial the number, and then whoever it is, their name will pop up. You know, it might say Biggie or whatever, you know, because you don't know numbers anymore. So I thought I'll just see it pop up, and then I'll just tell her, I was talking to Biggie, which I knew wasn't true. We don't talk that much, right? So I called it, and it just was a line. And so, well, I'll just follow through with this now. All right, I'll just see who answers the phone, if anyone. I thought maybe it might be some scam artist or something. Sure. I didn't know. A young woman, a young girl answers the phone. I could tell. Very young voice, female. I say, who's this?
Great start.
Who this is.
Quit pretending.
No. She says, you called me. I'm not telling you my name. And I say, well, I need to know who this is because my wife has seen us talking from this number for an hour. And she said, well, your voice doesn't sound familiar to me at all. And I said, well, your voice doesn't sound familiar to me either. And it was a very young girl. And
how old are you guessing?
14. Okay. Young. And immediately, and the longer I talk, I'm like, what am I doing? Why do I keep talking?
Yeah.
Trying to get, and I keep saying,
oh, I like Olivia Rodrigo too. Maybe we should be friends.
I just see agents in a van. Wait. Listening in on headphones, ready to deploy the SWAT team. I mean, he hasn't said anything yet.
And I keep trying to.
I heard the first episode reboot of To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, the NBC truck's right behind it.
I just kept trying to get her to tell me her name. I said, if you tell me your name, then I can clear this up. I'll know who you are, and I can clear it up. And I can say to my other family members, have you all talked here?
Can I ask, Kelly, was the area code our area code?
Yes. My hometown. My wife said it's coming from your hometown, Asheboro, NC. Oh, boy. So she, so I talked to her.
Daddy? Oh, God. What's your mother's name?
This is impossible.
I always knew you'd call. Mama said you didn't claim me.
Well, she never would give up her name, which was smart.
Of course.
And I even said to her, I said, you probably think I'm trying to scam you, and I'm not, and I think you're being smart for not giving me your name, but can you please? She goes, no.
Did you ever give her yours?
I did, but she did. She said, well, I don't know who that is, and I've never heard your voice, and we didn't have this conversation. It's very weird, she kept saying.
As the minutes just tick
I'm in long conversation with her now, And I said, you're being smart. And she goes, well, I don't think you're trying to scam me, or you wouldn't talk to me this long. I mean, we're sitting here having a regular conversation. I said, yeah, okay. And, and I was like,
well, have any Apple gift cards?
Yeah.
Send me 30.
Like, how's your summer going? All this. Well, I hang up and getting no closer to the truth, and I call my wife back. She goes, oh, I figured it out. It was my daughter who had been talking to this person, but it was listed under my name because her phone is in my name. And so she didn't check the number. She just checked. It said Chris Kelly has made these
Daddy's
calls.
phone.
Daddy's phone. It said Daddy's phone. And so then, that's right.
Jesus.
So I was talking to my daughter's 13-year-old friend for 10 minutes, like, tell me your name.
We have a lot in common.
If you could connect with your daughter like that.
Exactly.
Have you been to the Dario yet?
It's new.
I was just there.
Yeah. Now we're friends.
Yeah.
So I'm chatting with her. And
Did your daughter come downstairs and say, what in the...
see, I told my wife, I said, well, I called the person. And she goes, why in the world did you do that? And I said, because you were so accusatory. She goes, I wasn't accusing you of anything. I said, well, the heck you weren't. She sat there and said, you had all these, and she used a tone like I was having an affair because I was talking to this person.
Yeah.
Then she said, I looked at the calls you actually did make, and I mean, 4 calls. The longest was like 3 minutes to the diesel, talking pickleball. That's all it is, So I made no calls, basically. But my daughter's been chatting for 45 minutes to an hour with her friends.
Makes sense.
Of course. Right. So I get home, and my daughter says, I heard you called so-and-so today. I said, yeah.
Her mom is not happy.
Yeah.
Her dad's even more angry.
But I just thought, well, I'll call and clear this up. And then it turned out I really probably should.
You know what I have seen with younger people, maybe not 13, 14-year-olds like your daughter, but older people, they don't talk on the phone. They FaceTime. I mean,
you're right.
Everything is FaceTime.
No, you're right.
Even in the car.
That's right.
Walking down, we were walking the streets of Baltimore, walking along the harbor. FaceTime, FaceTime, FaceTime.
Yes. My son, 17, always on FaceTime.
There's no more phone conversations among a certain age group.
And if there's a phone conversation, it's always on speaker. He'll like hold it up like a tray.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And his friends will call him and be like, "Don't cuss, my dad's sitting here." And I thought, why are you taking it on speaker? Why don't you just take it and put it up to your ear, and then I won't hear what he's saying?
Exactly.
It's like, what's the deal? But sometimes it's FaceTime. That, as you're saying, that's what teenagers.
That's good for a kid. They can't lie about where they're at. Where you at?
That's right.
Cookout sign.
Right. Well, yeah. If I FaceTime them, but I track them anyway. We're tracking them all the time.
Yeah, you really do.